This is Leeds Trinity University.
Hello and welcome to Monday's Yorkshire Voice Newscast. I'm Amelia Riley.
I'm Georgia Collins.
And I'm Daniel Pye.
Coming up on the show today, we will be discussing Leeds Half Marathon, TV BAFTAs, and Georgia will be telling us all about speedcubing.
But first, some news from across the region. A man has been arrested this morning on suspicion of the theft of blue plaque commemorating the life and legacy of David Holloway.
The man, aged in his 30s, was arrested at an address in Leeds at 8 a.m. this morning after the plaque was taken from Leeds Bridge on Monday, April the 25th.
He remains in custody and inquiries are ongoing.
A group of MPs is calling for more protections for young social media influencers from exploitation and harm online.
Yes, the Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee says some are spending long hours producing financially lucrative content at the direction of others.
The Conservative MP Julian Knight says current employment and advertising laws must be strengthened.
I think it's crucial that we really get a grip on this sector because it is massive, it's growing exponentially. And we can see from what the Advertising Standards Authority tell us that literally they almost have no sort of grip at all on this sector.
So, Georgia, I see you have a Rubik's Cube over there and you're able to solve one, aren't you?
Yeah, I was trying to hide it a little bit. It's just my little toy. I can solve a Rubik's Cube.
How fast can you do one?
Oh, straight in there. So my fastest time that I've sort of recorded is 20 seconds, but my fastest time in a competition is 23 seconds.
Oh my
gosh. Add a little extra 3 seconds for nerves, I think.
Go on then, solve it now.
Well, there's a special name, isn't there, for people that are very fast at solving Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah, so it's Speedcubers, and I feel like it is coming a bit more popular now because there is a documentary on Netflix called The Speedcubers. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It is my favorite thing to watch. But yeah, it's like a whole. Well, I googled it earlier before I came on to see if it was a sport. I don't think it classes as a sport.
I think it does.
It says it
should be. I think
if
it should
sports
be.
and if like snooker and darts.
Yeah, I think it can qualify. Yeah, I think it'll qualify. And I feel like I'm going to burn calories in my hands from doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Really
Yeah.
Go on then, solve one now and we'll time you.
Do you want me to do it now? I mean...
Yeah, dance monkey
right,
dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have a little go, but you can ask me questions as I go if you like, so I don't get nervous.
Okay. How did you learn how to do this then?
So it was odd story. I was at my grandparents' house. I don't actually remember how old I was, but I was quite young, maybe sort of 11 or 12, and they didn't. Well, obviously, grandparents' house. They didn't have like any sort of games or anything, so I just sat under the table for about a week and kind of figured out how to do it from YouTube tutorials, and then haven't looked back since. Managed to memorize it, and now I have an Instagram account for it, and sponsored
And a podcast. Yeah,
that's actually relatively new. I think I just did episode 5. There you go.
Oh my god, that was speedy.
Yeah, but this one's a little bit slower. I borrowed it from one of the girls at uni. So it adds a couple more seconds.
Oh yeah.
It's not great. And then
how dare she?
So what have you done on your podcast then?
So I've spoken to a couple of YouTubers, I want to say. So they go to competitions and compete regularly. A couple of them were like global champions, and that are in sort of worlds that they call it, the cubing competitions. But they just they make YouTube videos about sort of different kinds of Rubik's cubes, and they're doing quite well for themselves. One of the ones that I spoke to most recently, he's Australian and he has about 500,000 subscribers, so that was a bit.
Oh wow!
I was sweating a little bit. In my world, that's like meeting Beyonce.
Almost as much as the Yorkshire Voice newscasts.
Exactly. Almost. Yeah, we're just
almost as much.
Yeah.
Almost as much. But
I've never actually been able to solve a Rubik's Cube.
You're not one of those that takes the stickers off.
Unfortunately, so when I was a child, I did that, and I got really sad. So my sister gave me some glue.
That makes me feel a little bit sad.
It upset me after I did it. I was like, why have I done this to myself?
Oh well, I mean, I could teach you.
Go on.
Well, how fast can you do a Rubik's Cube? So we've got never and
20 seconds and then
20 seconds. Okay. Do you reckon you can get her up to 20 seconds?
I mean, probably
Most
not in the
definitely
time we have today, but the general kind of there's a couple of different methods that you can use, and the basic one you can probably learn it in a minute. Well, not learn it, but you can learn that method and get it down to about a minute without
wow.
learning a ridiculous amount of algorithms, and then you will have to move up to a different sort of kind of method, and that's called CFOP. This is all going to get very technical in a second. Everyone's going to know what I'm talking about. And that involves probably around 300 different algorithms if you're doing it properly. So I don't even know all of them yet. So there is potential for me to get quicker if I really get my head down with it. But, there's other things to be doing in there. Yeah, and it is a lot more difficult to learn all the algorithms when you get a bit older. So, yeah, I think I'm going to try and learn a few more. But this weekend, I actually went to a competition in Wakefield, and I got to speak to people that were competing there. And, yeah, this is what happened. Speedcubing is a relatively niche interest with the aim of basically seeing how fast you can solve various different types of Rubik's Cubes. Meetups like this are held a couple of times a month up and down the country, organised by the UK Cubing Association. Since COVID, however, it's taken a while to get the competitions up and running again like they used to. James Moy, one of the delegates from the event, has been involved with a number of competitions.
Probably about 70. I think it's around there. I've competed in about 110 across 24 countries, somewhere around there. Our UK Championships in 2019, we had around 350 competitors, so over twice the size of this one. Yeah. However, for your normal month-to-month competitions that we usually have, they tend to be somewhere in the region of 80 to 150 competitors. Yeah. This competition filled up insanely fast. I know we knew the first competition back from the pandemic would be really popular, but we couldn't imagine it would be anything like this. Yeah. So we're really, really pleased with how many people are interested and have picked it up over the pandemic.
I couldn't go to a speedcubing competition and not join in, but unfortunately I didn't make it to the second round. I thought 20 seconds was an alright time, but it turns out the winner of this weekend's competition and world record holder, Patrick Ponce, was completing the cube in just under 6 seconds. Patrick is originally from the United States, but has been living out here for university. As I was chatting to the pro cuber, I found out that this competition is the last he will be doing in the UK, and the last he'll be participating in.
So I'm actually leaving in a few days on Saturday. So May 14th is my flight back. Yeah, it's a short amount of time. Fortunately, it's going to be my last comp for the foreseeable future. I just, it's really hard to get over here. Obviously, if there's some big championship or if I get the opportunity, I'd love to come here and without thinking twice, without losing a minute of sleep over it. But now that I'm going to be in the US and I'm going to be focusing more on career stuff, I'm not going to be able to justify, spending the amount of time that it takes to come over here and spend time here. But obviously, since I started, I was 10 years old, and now that is 10 years ago. And so it's been such an integral part of my life, formed the way I kind of approach social situations and all that. Yeah. So it's still going to be part of kind of my identity and kind of how I go about life, for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
Let's take a look at VE Day now, which took place over the weekend, celebrating Allies' acceptance of Germany's surrender at the end of World War II. Our reporter, Phoebe Mawson, visited VE Day celebrations yesterday.
"77 years on from the end of World War II, Victory in Europe Day celebrations are still going strong in Bradford. Tickle's Music Hall hosted a VE Day dance and celebration with live 40s music and people dressed to the nines in 40s attire, a real celebration of the era and the victory. I spoke to the event's organiser, Ellen Boyle, about why it's still so important to celebrate VE Day.
Personally, I think it's a tradition, isn't it? It's happened every year. People have celebrated VE Day from obviously when the war ended. It was a big mass celebration, so I think it's important to keep things like this going. I think it's really important, especially for the younger generations, because otherwise, what will they know about?
People at the event shared similar thoughts.
Well, for us, I suppose it's to do with the veterans, and just I think it's important to remember those people that basically gave their lives for us to enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy today and the democracy.
We were brought up in the 50s,
Yeah.
just after
Rationing and
finishing,
everything, yeah.
rationing and everything. So we knew what it was like. Younger generation today don't.
Well,
They might do now after COVID,
Yeah.
but that's a different thing altogether.
It's just the patriotism of it all as well. It brings everybody together. It's like a big party all the time. It's lovely. Yeah,
We just hope it passes on to our kids and our grandkids.
I noticed Des, a 74-year-old veteran, sitting at his table with his wife Maureen, with his regiment pin proudly on his shirt collar. I asked him what he thought about VE Day celebrations.
It's important to keep in every memory that I have and everybody else has. You can't take that away. You just can't take that away. When I walk in here and I watch this, there's a lump in my throat. Yeah, there is. And in London, I don't know, the first time I went, I couldn't believe the amount of people who were standing, clapping and cheering. Us old fellas were marching up to the tunes of what we're listening to now, but the camera's clicking, and when we got to the end, I just couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it. Lump in my throat, tears in my eyes, and I thought, I've got to come back, and I've gone every year since.
All that's missing from the event is the younger generation. The venue is packed, and all people there wanted to do was celebrate and pass on their experiences, while waving small British flags in time to a swing. So the memory of those who fought can live on.
Wow. That was really interesting. I think there's some great community spirit there.
Have you got some grandparents that lived through World War II?
Yes.
Yeah, it's important to still speak to that generation, I think, because they're not going to be around that much longer. Like, I think about my granddad. He's in his like late 80s, and he was like a child when World War II happened, but he does still have memories of that time.
Yeah.
And my gran as well, like, she contributed to the war effort and stuff. It's crazy to think that people within living memory, are still around.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I agree.
But
I think it's really important we do talk about it as well, and we still celebrate that. But has anyone ever run a marathon?
So I did a bit of cross country at school. I was on the cross country, the long distance team. We only did do the run around the park at school, but I was still
Same
out there
difference.
running. We did a lot of laps of it. It was technically long distance. I also used to do a bit of park run, and then I couldn't do that anymore. But hopefully this summer I wanted to do Tough Mudder. I don't know if anybody's heard of that.
No, what's that?
Basically, it's like I don't know if it's a charity one, but you go and you run, and there's all kinds of different obstacles, and it's all about upper body strength. I have absolutely none of that, so I thought I'd maybe challenge myself. And then obviously, clearing the title Tough Mudder, you kind of have to run through like muddy lakes and that kind of thing.
Ooh.
And I just think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds it. Well, yesterday was the Leeds Half Marathon, and one of our reporters, Grace, went to the scene to gain an insight of the run and the day.
It's bright and early in Leeds city centre, and the streets are beginning to fill with cheering crowds and pacing runners who are looking nervous but excited. Today is race day. People are starting to assemble at the start line, stretching and warming up. Erin is one of the organisers from Jane Tomlinson's Run for All and captured the spirit of the event.
I think everyone's just so happy to be getting back to running events. We did hold the event last year, but this is the first time since 2019 we've been back in the sort of city centre, start and finish. So everyone's really excited to kind of get going again. We should have around 5,000 runners taking part of all ages and abilities, running for all different sorts of causes. So it's going to be a great day.
Although there are thousands of people here today running alongside one another, everyone has their own individual stories and motivations for crossing the finish line.
My name's Kevin. I'm also known as, through these efforts, as the Mara Minion, so the marathon running minion. This one today, again, I was highlighting Jane Tomlinson because she's from Leeds and really inspires me.
My name's Alex and I'm running for St Gemma's.
And how are you feeling about the run?
Emotional, pretty emotional, yeah. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. It's for Rob's dad, unfortunately passed away, so, it's for a good cause.
This is my 11th half marathon in Leeds, but I haven't done it since 2019. Because of COVID, seeing everybody here cheering me on, it's the last push. Come on, you can do it. And remembering my grandma, she'll be there with me as well.
The Lord Mayor of Leeds expressed the importance of the half marathon and the fun run in creating community spirit.
What a fantastic turnout, and there's going to be lots of money going to be raised for worthwhile charities here in Leeds, in our great city of Leeds.
Also speeding through the city are the upcoming talent, taking part in the fun run. So what's your name?
Lana.
And how old are you?
7.
And how are you feeling?
A bit nervous, but I'll be able to do it.
Have you done a lot of training or?
A bit. I did 1.5k last year.
I'm running for marathon. Physical cap, aren't we?
Physical cap.
Yeah? Physical cap. And you're here with all your friends. There's quite a lot of you, isn't there? Are you all going to cross the finish line together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much money have you raised for charity?
250.
What charity is that for?
Steps. There's a charity that helped me when I was little.
The mood is high at the finish line as the runners have pushed themselves to the limit and have made themselves proud.
Oh, it was really good, yeah.
Really
People
good finish.
cheering on.
Yeah, nice
Yeah,
end
nice.
to it.
Yeah, really. Quite tough for about 7 miles, and then it got all right, didn't it?
It feels really nice, and I'm really excited.
Kept going all the way. We didn't walk once, did we?
And I'm her sister.
Are you proud of your sister?
Yeah.
It's been so great to see such an amazing day bringing together all ages in the name of many good causes.
Oh my gosh, that was so moving to listen to. That's such a great cause. And I love that so many people have got involved with it as well.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that, not gonna lie.
Would you ever run a
I haven't
marathon?
got that much experience running marathons, but no, that was really nice to see the range of age groups that were taking part.
Definitely.
Now over to our entertainment correspondent, Erin Carney, who was bringing us all things showbiz and gossip.
Thanks, guys. Did you notice my smooth transition from Dan there? Although I had to bring the mic about 2 foot lower because he's so tall. Well, we certainly had an exciting night for showbiz news last night, as it was the British Academy Television Awards. So first up, Jodie Comer thanked the carers and Dementia Society, who helped her research her character in Help, as she won Best Actress for her role in the show at last night's TV BAFTAs.
We were asking them very, very personal questions, and they were always just so willing and open. And I guess the biggest reward in all of this for all of us is that they felt truly represented in the telling of this story.
Elsewhere, Sean Bean got Best Actor for his role in the prison drama Time, while Sir Billy Connolly received a BAFTA Fellowship. And Rose Ayling-Ellis and Giovanni Panici won the audience-voted must-see moment for their silent routine on Strictly Come Dancing. However, last night's TV BAFTAs were also dominated by politics, with many winners represent Partygate and the pandemic and the privatisation of Channel 4. So Mo Gilligan picked up Best Comedy Entertainment Programme for his latest show, and he explained why he doesn't want to see the changes at the channel.
I know everyone said it tonight, to save Channel 4, but it's so important that the next Mo Gilligan or the next Judy Love or whoever can watch us and say, whoa, that's what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? So that's why we have to save it.
So some other winners last night include Motherland, Gogglebox and Coronation Street. But to many people's dismay, Channel's 4 It's a Sin, which led the nominations, went home empty-handed. So have either of you guys seen the show?
Yes. Oh, I loved it. I was so emotional watching it.
Yeah, I saw it as well. I've got to say, I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but near the end, well, even halfway through, it just had me in tears.
I was just distraught. The whole time was distraught.
Definitely worth a watch.
So good. So I'm not sure, but it was one of my favourite shows last year. And yeah, it had me in absolute tears by the end of it. So for those of you who may not have seen the show, it follows the lives of 5 gay men during the 1980s AIDS epidemic. And star Ollie Alexander says it's not just those who've lived through the crisis that have shown their appreciation.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Doctor.
Who? Okay, talking about jokes.
Yeah, that's why they chose us for the comedy bit.
Okay, so that might have been the wrong clip there, and it has spoiled my next big announcement, but never mind. So for any Doctor Who fans out there was an exciting big announcement yesterday. BAFTA award-winning Ncuti Gatwa has been announced as the 14th Time Lord in Doctor Who. The Rwandan Scottish actor is set to take over from Jodie Whittaker. Ncuti and his sex education co-star Amy Lou Wood presented one of the awards and could not resist joking about him being announced as the new Doctor Who. So it is all very exciting, but that is all from me from Hollywood of the North.
Thanks, Erin. And now we have some news on sports. So here's Will Cole with a roundup from across Yorkshire's football teams.
It's been a busy weekend of football as seasons come to an end across the Football League. Let's start in the Premier League with struggling Leeds United, who fell into the relegation zone yesterday after a 2-1 defeat to Arsenal in North London. Everton's win at Leicester means Leeds fell into the bottom three on goal difference. To make things worse, fullback Luca Ayling will miss the last 3 games of the season after he was sent off in the match against Arsenal. Manager Jesse Marsh knows how big a challenge United are facing to stay in the Premier League.
Between injuries and suspensions, we're down to not a lot of players. And we need every guy to be able to be ready to give whatever it takes to help us get through this situation. So our back's against the wall, but we've got to be ready, and we're ready to fight.
Yorkshire news from the Championship is generally more positive. Huddersfield Town fans might recognise these sounds from their playoff final victory in 2017. Now they're looking to replicate that success and get back into the Premier League. The Terriers leapfrogged Nottingham Forest to finish third after a 2-0 win over Bristol City this weekend. They'll face Luton in the first leg of their playoff semi-final on Friday. Sheffield United will join Town in the playoffs after stunning champions Fulham 4-1 on the last day of the season. The Blades will take on Nottingham Forest in their semi-final. Boss Paul Heckingbottom tells Sky Sports News that the tie at Bramall Lane will be another special occasion for the fans.
We want the fans to turn out. We want a team that the fans can be proud of, and I think you've experienced that today and what it can bring. We've had some real big days, nights at Bramall Lane, the back end of the season, and it'll be another special occasion.
Barnsley's torrid campaign ended with a 4-0 defeat away at West Brom. They'll be in League One next season after finishing bottom of the table. On their way up from League One could be Sheffield Wednesday, but to do so, they'll have to overturn a 1-goal deficit this evening when they welcome Sunderland to Hillsborough. They lost the first leg of their playoff semi-final to the North East side, 1-0 on Friday. The winner of that tie will play Wycombe in the final at Wembley. And Bradford City ended their League Two season with a 2-0 win over Carlisle at Valley Parade on Saturday. The Bantams had their end-of-season awards ceremony yesterday evening. Paudie O'Connor took home both the Player of the Year award and the Players' Player of the Year award. The evening's big news was that in-form midfielder Jamie Walker signed a new 2-year contract at the club. Here's the moment the deal was announced.
I did hear one very specific chant during the game in the last 20 minutes, so we acted on that last night. I locked him in my office and forced him to sign a new 2-year deal. So Jamie Walker.
And that is your Yorkshire football roundup from across the Football League.
Okay, and now for the weather. Over to you, MJ Binns.
Hi. So I'm outside Leeds Trinity, and as you can see, it's sunny, but not really sunny. It's not too cold either. Like, you could probably get away with just wearing a light jacket. It's a bit windy. But other than that, it's dry, and it seems like it's going to stay dry for the rest of the day. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Into this evening as well.
I think so, yeah. I think it's just going to stay dry for the rest of the day now.
That's great news. And that's Yorkshire Voice Newscast. Thank you for joining us today.
If you missed any of the show, you'll be able to download it from your favourite podcast provider.
Bye.
This is Leeds Trinity University.